I can't help it. I seat dance. I love that starting music, and it's been so long. It's like
It's been a very long time, and I'm super excited to have you back, of course, but to also have the Megaphone team because there's been so many changes. It's been
so good.
so exciting to watch everything happen. I know I was kind of like in this whole beta thing, but I don't have listings, so I could only like watch videos and like, come on, come on, come on.
So yeah, so I'm like I'm going back in time here for just a second and thinking about almost a little over a year ago when I'm standing on the not the convention floor where at R4, and I'm looking at all of these vendors, and there's just one that says Megaphone, amplify your business. I'm like, what is that? And it was the buzz of R4. It was like the thing, right? So I needed to learn more about it, and then you find out what it is and what it was then and what it is now. Holy moly, how far it's come. And the
Night and
guy
day.
we
It's
have
not
to get,
even the same. Not even the
yeah.
same.
So let's introduce our guest. So Gareth, tell us who you are and what you do, please.
Yeah, please. So I'm Gareth Mohammed. I'm here in Denver, work at LLC, and I'm on the product management team. And I work mostly with Megaphone, but across the marketing and brand sort of space for our applications.
Okay. And we also have Tori with us. And
hey everyone, I'm Tori Worthing, or Victoria, you can call me either. I'm a technology engagement consultant. So I'm not directly tied to Megaphone, but it is one of my absolute favorite things to train on. Just like you said, Tavia, it's come so far. I did the mini stage session at R4 last year, which was when it first launched. And it was the buzz, like you were saying, it was already there. People were already so excited, and it's come so far since then. It's really fun to watch.
yeah, so Gareth, talk to us a little bit. Heather mentioned that she's been in the beta. So tell us about a little bit before we dig into the platform, just so we get a little baseline history on this, about what's happened in the last year and how because I just love the fact that you're taking feedback from users. So talk about that process a little bit.
Yeah, please. So we've been very busy, as you guys mentioned. We've released a lot, but we've looked at Megaphone and seen the potential to grow Megaphone and offer more in terms of marketing automation and integration with our core applications. And as we've been building out the platform, we've obviously wanted user feedback as much as we possibly could. So I don't know if some of the audience may have been at R4 and BOC as well, where we've held feedback groups, but we've kept that going with a select group that's growing and growing itself. I think we're up to like over 50 in the beta group. So some of these features, we'll get prototypes out to them and hold group sessions or one-on-one sessions where we'll run through a prototype. That can be a little awkward because we don't want to say too much. We just want to give a prototype and then watch someone use it and have them speak through their thoughts out loud. So those sessions are really good fun. And thank you to anyone on the call or watching that's participated. And then we'll release into beta first before we go live into GA, something, a big feature set, for example, just to make sure that we can properly test it end to end.
Yeah, yeah, and I've been on those beta calls, and you're right. It is like we just okay, go ahead and talk, and then you're like, okay. And Heather, you've been on those too, right? Like those, yeah.
So it's like talk as you're doing stuff.
It's like a cooking show.
It's kind of weird, but I get it. And I think for us, it's a lot easier because we're, so used to new tech and we just can't wait to go in and play. So It's almost like you have to have somebody who's not a tech person to really, I know whenever we introduce kind of like a new software, it's like, we want the techies, but we want like, oh, what do you mean I have to take a stapler out of this paper before I put it through the ADF feeder? Like you need both and the feedback because you have, anything kind of has to be able to be adaptable by all
users. And that's what I love about this process, and why I wanted Gareth to talk about it a little bit, is because that's the process that we're seeing a lot of right now, is that we're getting people's feedback. Things are being launched because of that feedback, and it's just such a lovely thing to see in the whole process of it. So, and Tori, you were on the stage last year and you talked about it, and what is your, like, it's just, talk about where it was and where it is and your concept of how far it's come.
Yeah, well, last year at R4, when I first spoke about it, it was really focused on the advertising side, right? Especially focused on the web advertising side. And since then, I love how it's grown in the social atmosphere so much. We know how much users, anybody online, is on social media these days. And Megaphone is so targeted towards social media users with social ads, social posts. So I love how it's grown in that sense. And now with content templates, that's a whole other beast, but at the same time it feels so natural that it's been integrated all together. It really gives people just like, it's one place that they have to go now. It's all contained within this one place, which is fantastic.
Love it. All right, can we share my screen, Heather, so we can show off this tool? Because there's like, I have a favorite part of it that doesn't get talked about nearly enough, I think, in the training. So just, this is, we always start like this. Everything starts in Mac Center, right? And then we click on the Megaphone tile. Once you're in Megaphone, super, super easy to see. And before I'm going to kind of talk about different parts of this. The whole team's going to talk about different parts of this, but before they get into it, I want to show you my favorite part, which is this content part right up here at the top, the navigation, because this takes you into where everything is. So to Tori's point, like looking at this, like everything's integrated. It feels so natural that like right here on this screen, you can see print content or video content or social media or Photify stuff, like all of this stuff on one screen right here in content. But let's go back to the dashboards for a second. And Tori, why don't you walk us through? Let's work left to right. How's that sound?
And if there's any way, because I do notice like Tori's sound is way lower than everybody else. I don't know.
Shout.
Tell me, is this
that's
better?
much better. That's better. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Cool. Great. Awesome. So sorry, Tavia, ask your question one more time.
Said, could you talk, we're going to work left to right. So if you want to talk, I just wanted to show off my favorite part, which is the content, because that brings everything kind of together. If you wouldn't mind walking us through settings a little bit and tell us like the high points of where people really need to hit here, because this is a really big feature.
Yeah, definitely. And one thing I love about the settings in Megaphone is there's not too much to manage. It's very manageable. There's not too many things that you need to go in and update right away. But one thing you definitely want to do so that you can utilize all of the features in Megaphone is to connect your social accounts. It's really easy to connect your social accounts. All you have to do is click on connect. It'll take you into the landing page for that social site. So there's Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. And you don't have to connect all three right away. If you're not an active Twitter user yet, you could just connect Facebook and LinkedIn to start. You could just do Facebook just to test the waters a bit. But really easy to connect those social accounts. And then once you do that, you can go in and add your listing automation. So this is great. We get people saying all the time, there's so much great Remax tech out there, but there's too much. I don't have time to do all of it. And the cool thing about listing automation is it's so hands-off. You really don't have to do anything after you've set it up. So what listing automation does is it's going to automatically post on your behalf, and you can set it up for just new listings, in open houses, and also price reduced. And there's different types of media automation that you can add. So if you want to automatically have Megaphone post a web ad, you'll select those options in the web ad section. And you can also update your destination URL, so you can change where a user's taken when they click on that post or the ad that you've posted. By default, it's going to go to remax.com, and it will send you to the listing for that listing that you're promoting on remax.com. But you can switch that to your agent website, or you can add in a custom one as well.
We had a question come in about Instagram, and just to clarify there on Instagram doesn't allow automated posting. So when you're looking at your actual listing packet, which is another thing we'll talk about in a minute, well, you can post to Instagram. It's pretty simple, but you can't post from a system to Instagram, right?
Because Instagram doesn't allow it. So it's not like our side. It's Instagram is very, very, very picky on who they allow, that third party. So it's almost like the graphic is created, but we have to manually go in, or I think we can download it. And there's a story and a post ready for Instagram. We just have to manually do it because Instagram doesn't allow. But I love that the story's there. I mean, that's like huge.
So big. So much less work. It makes it so much easier. So Tori talked about the automated social. Gareth, could you tell us the difference between a social listing ad and a web listing ad? Kind of define that for us a little bit.
Yeah, of course. So the central column you have there is the social posts that are free. Those are powered by the settings that you were just showing, and they can post to your Facebook business page or your Twitter account, LinkedIn page. The Instagram one, everything you just said, completely true. Think about, so in Canva, if you're building out an Instagram piece, you get a QR code, right, that opens the Canva app on your phone, and then you have to open Instagram and post to Instagram. That's how difficult it is getting stuff onto Instagram. We don't have a Megaphone app yet, or an app that a QR code could send to. So we do just text it to your phone, get it onto your phone so you can post from your phone to Instagram. Anytime that we can improve that, trust me, we will. But that's an Instagram API thing currently. And then on the right-hand side, that column on the right under the digital listing ads, this is more of the paid platform. And we split that up by the web advertisement and the social advertisement. The social paid advertisements are run by HomeSnap. We've partnered with their engine to generate leads through Facebook, Instagram, Waze, and Google Ads as well. It's been a fantastic lead driver, driving in leads for top of funnel kind of stuff. And they will sync automatically to your Boost CRM as well. The digital listing ads on the web ad side, if you hit that, Tavia, we can just take a look at the template that is created for you. So on the right here, we have the template that is compliant, pulls in your photo from Pappy, from the membership information feed, and the listing photography as well from the listing feed that we have access to, with office information and agent information. Then you can allocate the tag there, so new listing, open house, price reduce.
Yeah, and that changes here. And just to translate a little bit, Pappy, it pulls from your Mac Center profile. So to those listeners who are familiar with Mac Center, your Mac Center profile picture, that's where this is coming from. So you want this change, you got to change it there. Sorry, Gareth, just translating into English.
Please, keep me honest with that stuff. I appreciate it. And that's a great point. So we do see your Max profile, the data in your Max profile account as a source of truth here. We don't want you duplicating information. So changing a name in Megaphone that isn't changed in Max profile, where we can, we'll point you across back into Max Center so you can update fields there, and then we'll put them to work and automate them through Megaphone distribution.
So the question, there's been a lot, and I'm not sure, because I know there's all these different regions and some people have more stuff than others. I don't know if you know how to address that, or if it's like the core regions, or how does somebody, because I know some people have, it looks more like HomeSnap. It doesn't have all of this stuff. Do you know, can you elaborate more into that?
Yeah, of course. Of course, the piece of that is always going to be your independent region. If you're in an independent region and you're not seeing this, that's because the agreement is not yet stood up to get you into the full platform. So in the interim or at the current state, you will just see the HomeSnap side. It's a very powerful engine. There's lots you can do over there, but doesn't give you like the whole blanket platform approach that you are seeing for the core regions that we're showing here. There are some independent regions signing up and coming on. Some went live this week. But great news, and just keep in touch with your region leadership, I think, is the best place to go. If they need help or questions arise that you guys don't have answers to, please get in touch with me and the team. Yeah,
so getting back in the flow a little bit here, the web ad that you're creating, this is run, like if you would try and do this on your own, creating a web ad, you would have to have a relationship with all these websites. You'd have to understand the changing nature of the price of web ads. You'd have to create the graphic on your own. Like, it looks really simple. There's 5 steps, right, to create a web ad. But just if you tried to go out and do this on your own, the sheer volume of work that would be involved in getting this done is ridiculous. Or vetting out a company that could do it for you, plus the cost involved in that. Like, it's just,
even Facebook ads are just ridiculous on getting the approval. So I have found it so much easier just going into Megaphone to easily be able to create Facebook ads.
Yeah,
right.
A key point here on both the social ad, any of the ad spend through Megaphone, always remember that you're benefiting from the economies of scale of Remax. All of the accounts that we have on the back end with DSPs and exchange partners to get these ads placed, or even Facebook on the HomeSnap side, you're benefiting from the national spend that Remax is executing at an LLC level. So your one listing advertisement is the same price, or benefiting from economies of scale, right? So,
right, and I remember there's a big relationship with Facebook. Facebook was actually at R4 because I know we got to have like dinner with them and stuff and talk, and a lot of that was because of everything going on now. So that was pretty exciting.
Yes. And here, Tavia, yeah, so you're naming for yourself and then the URL. We are making changes to that URL entry field because we've had some feedback that that's a little confusing. We do need to make sure that any destination URL that you're pushing traffic to is secure and optimized so it can receive advertisements and traffic being generated from this sort of activity. So that's what we're validating there, but we'll make that a bit more user-friendly. This step right here, we're allowing you to target certain platforms. So two things that we can do on either the custom ad, so load from Photofy, sync your Photofy with Megaphone or Canva or whatever it is that you use, push in for custom ads, or use a listing template like you are right here. You can target on a platform. So obviously real estate, home and garden makes sense, but this listing is next to a golf course. So Tavia is selecting golf, fantastic. And that's the platform targeting. So you'll see that an audience is interested in that and their browsing activity is around that. And then the next would be the location targeting, which is where you can get more nuanced with a just sold ad into a certain neighborhood. And you can do two things here on this Google API. You can either type in a DMA like you are. And once you've typed in a DMA, then you can only continue typing in locations, or you can drop a pin. But we do limit it to a 15-mile radius because we want to be compliant with the housing and everything.
Yeah, so here's a pro tip for you on this one. So this is my area, but if I also have somebody from, let's say I have investors coming from Manhattan, right? So I can also target Manhattan. So like if I know, and that's a really broad range, right? For sure. But if you have two different areas, so there's people from upstate New York, like if I'm listing a vacation property and I know that in Florida, we've got a lot of snowbirds, right? You've got a lot of people coming down from my area. So if you're listing a property there and you want to target people that are up north, you can do that, right? So that's based on golf courses or what have you. So that's a really, really neat feature for sure. I like that.
And then remember, the more layered you get with your approach here, the more locations you add or the more platforms, that's obviously going to impact the price.
Yeah, for sure.
When you're selecting what type of visibility you're after, if that's just the baseline or you're really trying to get higher visibility or a custom amount for your spend as well.
Yeah, and I want to call attention to the cost of the ad. Like if we think about what print advertising used to cost or still does cost, and the difference that you get here. So for $160, how many eyeballs you have on it is really, but that's just the web ad side. So I mean, I think this is a really, really simple setup, really great. I'm going to exit this for a second. I don't want to run that. I want to talk about the social ads too, because those people that are in the independent regions might have the HomeSnap connection. And I'm going to lean on Tori here to talk to us about the difference between what a social ad is and what the social post is, just to clarify that a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's a question we've gotten a lot since we added social posts to the platform. So when you look at social posts, which are the listing automation that we showed you earlier, or any of these social posts like the Instagram that you could download and use, these are what we call organic social reach. So just like if you or I were to post anything on our Facebook page or our Instagram page, let's use Facebook for an example. I could post something and people who follow me will likely see that post. But say that Heather is my friend on Facebook and she then shares my post on her page. Now anyone that follows Heather is also going to see that post. And this is organic, right? It's driven by consumers. It's driven by the users of these different social media sites. Some posts might get a ton of visibility because Heather shared it and Tavia shared it on their pages and tons of people shared that. And others, you might only get a few likes, a few comments, not quite as big of a reach. But it's all organic. It's all driven just by consumer use. Now, with a ad, like a social ad, that is paid to go out into social and target anyone who might be a relevant audience. So as an Instagram user and as someone who's constantly looking at real estate online, just because I love it, I see Megaphone ads on Instagram all the time, whether they're in Instagram stories or in my feed, because I'm a likely audience for that ad. So Instagram or Facebook is going to target and put those in front of the types of eyeballs who might best benefit from a type of ad like that. So Tavia just brought us into the Megaphone social ad platform that is powered by HomeSnap. So it gives you a little preview of each different type of ad. Suggests that, Instagram might be targeted towards millennials like myself who spend probably way too much time on Instagram. Then you have Facebook. Everybody's on Google all the time. Waze is kind of a fun one too. I think sometimes people don't always utilize Waze because sometimes people just don't know what it is as much, but it's a really unique way to target as people are driving right from that navigation app. So don't sleep on Waze. It's a fun one. So then you can go down and pick your listing. It'll pull a list of all of your listings here. So there's nothing that you need to do there. If you want to select a different one, you just pick a different listing. And it'll give you this little preview. You can edit those if you want to change the look and feel at all. If you want to change the landing page too, different landing pages will have different goals for your ad. So that's always something I suggest, especially for Facebook and Instagram. So you can target on Google, then you can click your ad design.
Ooh, wait, I like that one.
Yeah, that's a collection one. So for
I don't know that house is necessarily a collection house, but
at 152, doubtful.
Yeah.
And then this part I love where you can select your landing page too. So you can define a goal for that ad, whether it be trying to get more leads, trying to get qualified leads, or just trying to get the maximum number of leads. And then for every social ad that you post, you get to pick your exact budget across different platforms. So Tavia is just sliding those bars here, and you'll see on the right-hand side, it'll give you a preview of how that's likely to perform, how many views you're likely to get with that budget that you set, how many clicks you're likely to get. And if there's any you don't wish to post to, you just, you can always zero out any platforms you don't want to post to, add more budget to those that you think get a lot of attention. Those little budget guidance and compare networks buttons are helpful too. If you've never done this before, it'll just give you, 3 ideas of, if you have 3 different goals for your ads at 3 different price points as well.
Yeah, so it's kind of it's very user friendly, and it like walks you through the process. And if you have no idea, like ads, I don't know, how much should I spend? Like the budget guidance, do I want a starter pack? Do I want a top producer pack? Do I really want to grow my business and spend some money? And if I select that, then it automatically slides these things for. So it's really, really nice to be like, I don't really know a lot about social ads. And to answer a question, somebody was saying there was, where do those ads run? Well, it depends. Like to Tori's point, like the social stuff is going to run on these platforms. The web ads that Gareth was talking about will run on websites. So, and we've all seen it, it's different. So you scroll around websites and you see the little ads on the websites. That could be your listing. And, if it's me and I know that my seller is really interested in a specific category, home and garden, maybe they're like want to be Martha Stewart, whatever it may be, then I'm going to definitely hit that category, because then my seller's going to see that I'm promoting their listing for them. Right? Does that make sense, guys? Am I on track with that?
And I want to mention, somebody had mentioned about the AdWorks. This is like in addition to me, Megaphone and what this is and what AdWorks is. Not even close to the same. AdWorks is awesome because it's all about brand awareness. Your sellers, especially if you put in that seller's email address, they're going to follow, see that ad. This is in addition to that. So is Megaphone still doing like that free, like little ad for the listings as well? Because they were doing that.
Yeah.
And that is like a lead generator. So Megaphone is like a lead generator. And then you can even, add different web ads or Facebook or social ads super easy versus having to go to Google and learn how to figure out how to do pay-per-click. It's super easy in here. But AdWorks is, I don't know that I ever get leads from AdWorks. To me, it's that brand impression. It's that constantly in your face or that zip code of your listing. It's night and day, but this adds huge value for your listing presentations because you get both.
Yeah, I love it.
And with that, that free ad, that's for our core user or our
the
core areas.
Okay.
Core regions. Thank you. Only. So just keep that in mind. But you'll get that ad posted to Facebook anytime you have a new listing. So it's a great place to just get you started with those Facebook ads. You can always go in and extend that ad if you had a lot of success with it from the beginning. You could go in and add additional social platforms for that same ad. But it's a really good way to just get you started. And like you said, to get some brand awareness every time that you have a new listing.
Yeah, huge thing in the listing presentation too, for sure. Just to say, yeah, I'm doing this for you. Who else is doing it for you? Other things that you can put in the listing presentation, and this is another one right now. And as I'm talking to agents, I'm finding that, it's a little crazy out there with the lack of inventory. And every time you have a new listing, you get many offers, and then you have to kind of suss through all of those. So it may not appear to you to be as critical right now to make sure that your listing is marketed, but it absolutely is. It's that consistency of your personal brand and making sure that you're providing that level of service all the time to every seller you've got out there. So here we've got this listing packet, and Tori, I'm going to pick on you again to talk to us about the listing packet and how that gets generated. Don't worry, Gareth, I'm coming back to you in a minute.
Yeah, and feel free to jump in at any time, Gareth, too. And Tavia, you brought up a good point. If you're in a seller's market and your listings are going like that, then that's a great time to use any of those recently sold materials that you have in here. Show on your socials, look at how many homes I sold this month. And people who follow you on social media are going to say, as soon as I'm ready to put my house on the market, I know exactly who I'm going to, because, Tavia had 8 listings last month that all sold. So it's not just for new listings or for open houses. Make sure you're using that recently sold too, because that's such great awareness. But here in the listing packet, so we went over the digital listing ads, the social posts, which another difference between the social ad and the social posts, our social posts are organic, so they're free. It's just this post that's been designed for you, but you're not paying anything additional there. And then you have these printed materials here as well. It's a great place to get started with Megaphone's content templates, because you have these 3 right inside your listing packet, right from your listing page. For any listings that you have this beautiful jumbo postcard. And keep in mind, there's a lot of different ways you can use these. You can certainly download them and have them printed and use printable marketing, or use them digitally as well. This is a great thing to post. You can share this digitally. You can share it through email, any digital or print needs you might have for these. So you get your jumbo postcard, your brochure, and your flyer all included in the listing packet.
Yeah, and that's really nice too. And it does pull, you don't have, look, all I did to create that was click a button, gang. Like, it's automated, right?
Yep.
Love it.
And this is a
different
in here. Right.
Like ever for those listings?
Say again, Heather, sorry.
Like different templates. Like I see, the postcard and the brochure. Do they have other templates that we can opt for? That was one thing I did love about Design Center, was I didn't like what was sent, but I could easily go in and pick one of the other cool designs, and just like magic, it was just, I got a whole other suite of stuff.
Yeah. Oh, just wait, Heather. There's so much.
We do have the content template side that Tori mentioned. And over there's like growing library of templates that will pull in the listing feed as well. So you can get over there and build like more of a bespoke feel. In the future, I don't want to give any dates, but we will be looking to offer, like in your settings in Megaphone, that you can change that template packet that you want. That this whole listing packet that you're seeing, you could make a selection on what you want to use and make you stand out. Going back to our sort of approach with building this platform and releasing this platform, when you were showing the jumbo postcard and brochure, that's current state that you can download it and put it to work with your own printer or a local printer. we are adding the capability to print directly from that page using Deluxe, our plugin print partner. So that'll be coming very soon, and also the ability to edit either the photography or some of the content on this flyer as well.
Awesome. When you were talking about the print content, I'm going to hop over to that printable content here for a second, because I think this is one of the things that it does. You can still create stuff right from your listings. I'm sorry, I've got my computer is kind of running a little bit slow today, and I'm running live. So yay for the lag. That's not the system. I swear, I've been in and out of this a lot in the last couple of weeks. But this, when we get in here, here we go. We're in. We're loading. I'm going to have to send him a coffee card for letting me use this. When you look at my listings, you see market my listings, they're all here. So it does still pull all that information. You pick the listing and then you can start creating content, right? So it's not like you have to go in and personalize it. But talk a little bit more about that, Gareth, please, now that we're over here and looking at the Megaphone content area.
Yeah, for sure. So where we were, that listing packet that's auto-generated for you, think of that as more of like the distribution side. And then coming over to this side, we're looking at more the creation, using content templates, either for listings or just in general business use under content. This is where we'll bring across the most used assets from Design Center, plug them in here, get the templates live in here for your use, and continue to grow that. A huge benefit to using Deluxe for this side is that the process of our design team putting in either seasonal templates or just adding to the template gallery for your use is much more streamlined. So we can get them in there. You can use them for either print build out and targeted print or digital use and download and use digitally.
Love it.
Continue to add. We have a batch of templates going live over here very soon. That's going to have e-postcards, additional e-postcard templates, CMN templates, a listing presentation template, these kind of assets. And we'll continue to add to this library as well.
Awesome. Is there anything you want me to show off in here, Gareth, of your fancy tool?
I know from looking up on the Facebook groups, when we launched this, downloading a print asset was quite difficult to start. So worked with Deluxe to improve that, and obviously want to make everyone aware that that's improved. And you just go through, I think it's only like 4 steps now, and then you'll see the download as a PDF. But also just raise that as an example of how, with us now controlling this space, that we can make these improvements as quick as we need.
Yeah, this used to be, so I'm in here, and guys, I know I'm going through this fast. There are a ton of videos in Remax University that will walk you through this process slower, but just to show you that once you personalize it and add the photos, so I just personalized it, I'm not going to go through click by click, right? Because there's lots of videos that we can, I will put the links in the videos in the comments of this live. Going to pull in pictures from ooh, what a nice one. I really like that. Okay, I'm sorry, got distracted. So pretty laundry rooms get me every time. I'm such a mom. All right, so then right here is the download the PDF. And this used to be a several clicks out. But again, that speaks to how well the teams at HQ and LLC HQ, whatever you're gonna call it, are listening to the membership and going, hey, you have a need, we're gonna fix it. I mean, that turnaround time, Gareth, that took what, 7 days to get that fixed? Like not even? That was great. That was great. I loved it. So download PDF is now right here, and it takes you right to downloading that. But cool. Love it. Look at that laundry room. That's really nice. Sorry, guys. Totally squirreled on the laundry room. Okay. Do we have questions, Heather, on this?
Yeah. So some of the stuff from Design Center, as far as the listing property website, I've always personally used, my property on my website to drive traffic, but I know people, I guess, like the single property website, if those are coming. I love all of your newsletters and the postcards that you have for direct mail, but I was wondering, because I personally love the Design Center, just the campaigns for holidays, time change, monthly, that I don't have to do anything. I just set it and turn it on every year. Are those coming over? So single property website and the newsletter campaigny stuff.
We can probably stop sharing the screen now, right? We don't need that anymore. Yeah, there we go. Hi, guys.
Hi.
Hi.
So for the single property websites, in the interim, we'll be using the listing detail page on remax.com or pointing traffic that way. But we are working with the Boosh team to analyze that gap. What do we need there? We've had some great conversations and polled the Facebook group and continue to grab feedback into what we need and what's going to be impactful there. And we're working on solutions for that currently. That team are, and that's a great, that and the campaigns is a great sort of point to make, that bringing across features from Design Center into Megaphone, it's not apples for apples, because it may make sense to have Boosh work on a web presence piece, right? So the campaigns, we are working with the Boosh team on their new release of the campaigns to get listing specific campaigns as part of that packet. So from Megaphone, when you have a new listing, a few clicks and you can add an audience and then send
That's awesome.
So we have designs for that. So we'll make some prototypes and get that out to the beta group and then get feedback and iterate on there and have that live as quickly as possible.
And I do know, like, Boosh is, they finally, they have like the newsletter, or, I mean, they've had newsletters for a long time. It's just, we have to go in manually and do that. But I know that they now have drips, and that's next week. So I'm excited for that part. But I do feel like that should be replacing that aspect. And you're right, like I've always used my own property. I think with the single listings, like you could upload video, like Matterport kind of stuff.
Yep.
Which I think that was appealing on that aspect. But yeah, I mean, those seem more like they would belong in Boosh, even though everything talks to each other, which that part I love, because Megaphone is like all about your listing, just anything you possibly want. But I love the postcards where you could upload your database and send snail mail for every holiday, or there's so many in there that I was like blown away.
I know. Well, and there's people commenting now, so I want to fill in this comment talking about filling in the gap between creating a page. So this is off the top of my mind, so I may get in trouble for saying this, but it's a great idea, I think. Tori was saying earlier that you can take this and utilize these print pieces in digital ways, right? So if you have a listing and you really love it and it's got great pictures, you can use that graphic to create a page, a custom page on your Boosh website. And there's the picture. There's what you can show off to sellers when you go on a listing appointment and say, look at all of the tools that I've got to help you sell your house, right? So it could be, here's a page I just sold. I've never really loved those single page websites, because as a listing agent, you've got a lot of things you have to do as a listing agent. There's the contracts, there's the marketing, there's the negotiations, there's the agreements, oh my gosh. But then when there's a price reduction, do you want to have to go to one more place to update that price? When it goes under market, do you want to have to go one more place to update that? It's all automated when it gets fed to your website. So using that property page on your website, it's all automated, it's taken care of for you. Creating a custom page to use for listing presentations to show off how that can work. That's what Gareth is talking about, like being able to create that page automatically, like have it be an easier flow so you don't have to go through. And Heather, how many of these have we done on creating custom pages, right? Like it's not a hard process to do. It does take time. But it would take time to update it too if it price reduction or if it goes under market. So yeah, I get, like, for
me, the biggest thing is when you're sharing that single property site, you're not, how often is that going to be the perfect fit? Yes, that's the one they want. They're going to call you. I want to take them to my website so that I capture their information so they can now look at other properties that are similar and keep them on my site and then capture them as a lead and cultivate them. So to me, that was always my biggest thing. And I can say, like on the Megaphone where it has the website, I always tell my agents, click not remax.com. I want you to click agent website so that for that same reason, when all of those posts go out, I want to drive traffic to my website. I mean, people are always like, I don't get leads from my website or this, that. Well, do you ever put anything out on your website to help drive traffic, or you just think there's a miracle going to happen and you're somehow going to be above the Zillows of the world to show up on that? Probably not.
Going to, old school real estate. I'm never going to sell a house on an open house. So why would I do them? Well, you do open houses to attract buyers and start relationships with people that you haven't seen. You do the same thing, pointing people back to your website so they can browse the open, especially in this digital age that we're living in. you know, that they want to come and look at properties. Maybe that's not quite the right fit, that one property, but now they have the opportunity to look someplace else, and any leads generated on there go right into your Boosh CRM.
That's right.
That's what I was going to say too, Tavia, is we're never going to beat the lead generation that you're going to get from your Boosh website. So direct people to your Boosh website as much as possible, because the way that the leads are streamlined into your CRM from your Boosh website, you couldn't get that from any other web page that you would create.
No,
unless you created that page on your Boosh site.
I mean, your website should have IDX. If not, you have problems other than that. But I don't care if it's Boosh or another site, always drive traffic to your website. That's how you help, you know, get your leads. So
love it. Love it. I had a list, because I don't know if you've noticed, but I tend to squirrel brain a bit. So I'm going to look at my list to make sure I didn't forget anything. Hold on. Let's see. Ooh, I had something that was coming up. And I know there's probably not a lot of admins on here right now, and I don't need you to go super in depth in it, but there are some like managers and brokers who want to know about impersonation. Garrett?
Yeah, of course. So we're in the build process right now with the deluxe side to implement that impersonation. So high level, the logic behind it currently, when you're in your primary office, you'll be able to impersonate anyone that's in your primary office and search for them by their name or MCID. We need to just implement that and then get the training pieces out to guide you on how to best achieve it. And then also at LLC, the product support teams and the training teams will be able to impersonate anyone across the whole membership, so they can jump on and show you or help guide you in what to do. That's on the content template side that we saw. On the Megaphone distribution side, or the listing packet pages, we're working on team features and broker, manager, office staff features to help get people access into those listing packets if they're not the owner of the listing, not the listing agent. And we'll continue to add features that are relevant to our business model and the roles within our hierarchy and Remax to try and make it impactful for everyone involved.
I mean, that's the great thing, is we have the ideas portal. So I'm always telling people, like, if there's something that you want it to do, put it in there, post it. I mean, I think we even have a thread for people to be able to share their ideas to help us, you know, vote it up, like if it makes sense for us. But I love, because then you get notification of when it's like there, when it goes to plan, future, done. I mean, you get those notifications, but I mean, seeing how everything has evolved just in the last year,
it's amazing.
I mean, we're listening to what our needs and wants are. So agents, if there is something you want, make sure you go to ideas.remax.net. Is that right?
And you can get there through Max Center too.
Yeah. So it's all in there, and make sure to, you know, do a search in there, see if the idea is in there. If it is, vote it up. If not, add it. Let us know, because I mean, that's how we make this exactly what we all need it for.
And that helps us prioritize as well, right? For sure.
Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, because you guys are selling real estate and, you know, working through and know exactly what you want. So I think there's great. Yes, Anna, there are seasonal. There's a lot of good stuff in there. I just don't know if it's automatic yet, the newsletter. I've been doing it manually, so I don't know if, but that's next week. So next week is all about the Boosh, the CRM, the drips.
There's a pitch.
Fun stuff. And
what a nice
you guys have done a lot of videos that are right as far as the Megaphone, the new features up in RU.
Yeah,
Tavia, how many videos did we record over the last 2 weeks or so?
God, yeah, there was.
I think it was 20 or something.
Yeah, it's really amazing. Here, I'm going to go right into university here. So I'm going to go. Let's see, Remax University. So, guys, like one of the things that I've seen in the last 8 weeks is how hard this team works to really create content that helps you understand the products that you have in your toolbox. And typically it's like 4 or 5 videos a week, but when Megaphone launched, I think it was 15 in 1 week. So that's writing the script, creating the video, editing it down, and then getting it here to Remax University. And down on the bottom left-hand side, there is a section just for Megaphone now. Of course, you can go into the top and search Megaphone. right? And then all of the Megaphone stuff will come up. But if you want to see it all in one spot, go down to Megaphone, and there's Megaphone videos. So we click on that and check it out. So there's all of these videos that you have covering all the topics we talked about today. So if there's anything, if you want to rewatch this video, sure. But it goes into a little bit more depth in these videos that you can kind of break down. And they're short, like they're 3 minutes. So it's not going to take a ton of your time. But the cool thing there is it's 3 minutes and they walk through the entire process. So this stuff does.
They don't talk as fast as we do.
Heather, you call me out on that again.
And
I know.
Tavia,
I'm right there with you. I'm horrible.
I saw. Is that there already?
Yes, just this morning. It says,
yay! So tell us about what that is, Tori.
Okay, so Tavia and I have been working on a little project for you guys because we know there's so many great videos, like we just said. I mean, we recorded like over 20 videos on Megaphone, but sometimes you need a way to watch those videos in order that makes sense. So coming soon, we're going to launch that, just giving you guys kind of a streamline of this, watch this video first, then watch this and watch that. So check back soon for Megaphone video watch tracks.
I'm so excited. I didn't want to click on it. I wasn't sure what that was. So Heather, how many times have we had people in our groups go, there's so many videos, where do I start?
And it's hard. And I know even myself for like my office is I have taken the videos from RU and just do a screenshot so that I could organize them in a matter that I feel like if agents really want to learn, about Megaphone is I just, kind of do the basics because otherwise there's like so many videos. I don't know where to start. Sometimes we just need guidance on, okay, here's the basic intro and, profile. And now let's dive into this and breaking it up into baby steps which is why I think the track learning is so important because it breaks it down in an order that makes sense for somebody who's just doesn't even know where to start. You see all those and it's like, well, if I don't know what anything is, I don't even know which video to click on. I'm just going to confuse myself. So that's why I love the track learning is to kind of, baby step it in an order that kind of makes sense.
I love it. I'm so excited for that to be launched.
Yes.
Good.
No, there's tons of great stuff. Let's see. Do agents sign up and pay for Megaphone? I mean, it's in your dashboard unless you're with a different kind of regions, have different things. I mean, I probably shouldn't even say if you don't have it and you're not a core region, go to your regional team and tell them you want it. I don't know.
The things Heather's allowed to say. Yeah, there we go.
There are paid outputs from Megaphone, obviously. Some of these things require money, but you are paying at the level of Remax, so power of the brand, power of the network there. And some of the subscriptions, you'll need to put a payment card behind them because these activities are going to happen on your behalf as you go through listing events. But access to Megaphone is free.
Yeah, it's free unless you want to start running ads. Then, of course, you do need to put in a credit card because ads aren't free. But just to have Megaphone, just to have your listing automation for all of the content or the flyers and brochures, postcards, unless you're mailing those postcards, like all of that content is free and available to you. It's just if you want to level up to run ads, you just have to pay for the ad and you get a discount because you're getting the Remax corporate discount.
Yeah, and it's and ad buying is. Go ahead, Tori. I'm sorry.
I was just going to say, one thing I love about the pay structure of Megaphone is you quite literally only pay for what you use. It's not like you're paying a monthly subscription and some months you get a lot out of that and some months you don't really use it all that much. You only pay when you run an ad. Really, that's it. So you're never paying for something that you're not using.
And I love how
your social can say like, I want $25 every time I have a new listing to automatically be done and not think about it. Just turn that feature on every new listing, every time I have a price reduction, and you could say $10 goes every time. I don't want to have to think about it. It's like magic. You set it up once, you forget about it. It's done. It's like having your own assistant just do that stuff for you. I love it.
Well, I would say
I love live. Live is
4 people is too hard.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, if people can take one thing away from this, go into Megaphone, connect your social accounts, and set up your listing automation. It is the easiest thing that you can do in Megaphone, and you're going to get the biggest bang for your free.
Definitely. And if we're going to add things,
that's exactly what I was going to say, Tori. So, you know, I'm just going to sit back now.
Same page.
and the video you guys are showing
a live event, we all just start getting excited and just
the videos that Tori's team have put out there that you were just showing, they're continually updated. Every time that we push out a new release, the team go through, they update all the videos. So it's you're going to get the latest stuff there. And then props to that team, and props to the product marketing team as well, with all the comms that are going out, the broker notices, the agent notices. Keep an eye out for those in your inbox. They'll push you to RU for a video to help migration, or just give you the latest news.
Cool.
Awesome. Well, any last words? I love everything that I keep seeing being added. Next week, we have the Bouge team for the whole CRM and drips that are all being released. And then I believe the 18th, we've got some great people coming in to show us what they've done, their masterpieces created on the Remax Hustle video editor tool, which is awesome. And then, of course, the following week is R4. So whether you're there virtually, in person, I'll be there in person. I'm excited.
I can't believe it's March already. I'm sorry. I'm just having a moment with that. Like that's just crazy. And I can't believe that we finished in under an hour. Heather, I don't think that's ever happened.
I
have to turn on.
Be a forever class because there's so much to cover. But for beginners, make sure you go to RU, check out the Megaphone videos. They're nice and short and slow. So it's a lot easier to comprehend we went through a lot today. And we really only touched on the surface because we didn't even get into the whole postcard, snail mail campaigns that are that truly blew me away when I saw all of that stuff. But yeah, we didn't even get into there. So there's a lot of great videos. Make sure to check that out. And then I think that's it.
All right.
And check out the overview video if you're looking for a place to start. The Megaphone overview, it's kind of going to do what we just did, but a little more compact, and just walk you through everything that's on Megaphone and on like a high overview level. So then you can see from there what other sub videos you want to go check out.
Awesome.
Cool.
Great tip. That's awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for coming, sharing with us all this fun stuff. Go play if you have the Megaphone. If not, reach out to your regional people to tell them you want it, to make it happen for you. I can say that and not get in trouble. Maybe by other people, but that's okay. It's all good. But I think that's it. So thank you guys, and we'll see you guys next week.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Have a great day.
Bye.